What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lamonts G and Custom Knife Show, the number 3 podcast. Oh my God! Listen, I struggle trying to decide was I going to do this particular subject. I struggle big time. Um, Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Um, Listen, y'all. Anybody who knows me, I don't share um private stuff. You know, but I will say this because I think it's kind of funny. My wife bought my daughter the Panera. If you know about the restaurant Panera Bread, the the loaded soups in the bowl. Got them from Walmart, I think. And I ate a couple, and I'm like, wow, these sandwiches are good. Found one this morning in the refrigerator. I said, shit, let me go ahead and eat this damn thing. It was good last night. And let me just say, without getting too graphic, President Trump, you ain't got to worry about the Venezuelan gas and all, and Iran's gas and all. I got enough for everybody in this country. I got enough gas for everybody right now. But anyway, let me get serious. I was struggling with this, with doing this podcast, this particular subject, for the simple fact, I, I'm just gonna tell you because I'm struggling to get my thoughts together right now. So, sometime in the past week or so, um, they sent up a spacecraft to to the moon or to orbit the moon. And with technology now, you can do a whole lot that you couldn't do back in the 70s. You got a lot of people asking, well, with gas prices so high and with the cost of living so high, is this really important? And my answer 20 years ago would be the same answer today. Yeah, to the scientific community, that's extremely important to them. To us, just ordinary, everyday people who don't give a damn, don't mean nothing to us. But to the extreme of the extreme people that's in the scientific community, they want to find aliens. You actually got a religious podcast. This last episode was about aliens, extraterrestrials. And do you believe that's one of them subjects? Go back to school when you was in elementary school. And I don't know if everybody had the same experience as me, but on some days, especially on Fridays, when you finna get ready for the weekend, so the teacher want a little bit of quiet time for the last period, so she puts on either a cassette tape or some on a record player, and it tells about aliens and ghosts and spooks, etc. I would hear from I know from the 3rd grade to the 6th grade, I would hear so much of this in my quiet times. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I've never really given it a deep thought. You know, as a kid, you see these movies, these sci-fi movies. And you have little green men, and you have spaceships. They fighting, and my favorite one of all time is the day the Earth stood still. You had Michael Rene come down, him and his robot in a spaceship, and listen, I love every bit of that. But have I ever thought that there were really aliens? No, I can't say I ever have in 53 years of living. But I'm gonna tell you, as a kid, it's in the back of your mind. It's a possibility. Well, with these extreme scientists, they're adults with full-grown brains, and they still looking for them. one of my greatest pleasures, and listen, this is going to be boring, so this is podcast is not going to be for everybody. But doing my first marriage, on a Sunday, we went to church, got back, and I turned it on PBS. And they had the most detailed uh, show on the two space probes they sent up, I think back in the 70s sometime. Voyager 1, Voyager 2. And they had pictures and images of Pluto, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn. And to this day, they say they still in operation in intergalactic space or interstellar space or whatever that is. It's still going. 50 some years later. Matter of fact, the Voyagers probably the same age as I, so he's got to be 53 years, 54 years, and they still going. But you know one thing they've never seen evidence back of? Aliens. Fast forward, y'all, till the early 2000s, mid 2000s, or 2000 teens. Technology is getting better. They're sending these space probes to Jupiter and Saturn, Venus, all these planets, all these asteroids. And technology is, remember, technology is off the chain. You know one thing they don't have evidence of? Aliens. And that's why I say, you remember those tapes and records I told you the teacher used to play during quiet time? So many of these, I want to say 90% of these audios that we listen to contain people being abducted, visually seeing aliens land in their backyard or in the desert or this place or that place, flyovers. And I think we've been duped and bamboozled because these people made a lot of money. Matter of fact, it's a place in Arizona or Nevada that to this day is ground zero, Area 51, I think it is, for alien stuff, reunions and celebrations. But y'all got to think, we have satellites in space that can pinpoint a hair on a fly's ass. But you know one thing they haven't detected? Any aliens. Not one. Not a half of one. I remember they had this picture on Mars. It looked like a face or a skull or something. And if you take it, if you put it into contrast, it was just a rock. But because they did some things with some lights and some other things, it looked like a face with eyes or a skull with eyes. Now these are the same people who would tell you that a boy could be a girl and a girl could be a man. But ain't it ironic they haven't created a trans alien or a drag show alien? Ain't that funny? Ain't that ironic? What do you think? Do you think aliens exist? Do you believe in aliens? Some people say there's nowhere in the world God would just put us here in this great big universe. And well, let me stop. Let me back up a little bit. In this great big galaxy without any neighbors. Who are our neighbors? There's millions of asteroids in our galaxy. But there's 9 planets. And yes, I said 9 planets, not 8. From Mars to Pluto to Venus to Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, with a few more. Uranus. I can't remember the damn name of the one closest to the sun. But anyway, that's not important. With 9 planets in our galaxy, and we're the only living creatures that inhabited Earth, and it's just not human beings, it's dogs, cats, flies, and everything else. But you don't have any of that on the 8 planets in our galaxy. Are we special? Now, the reason I walk back instead of saying the universe, and I said galaxy, because you got people out there, and I think I'm one of them, that believes the universe itself is so vast. Who's to say, God didn't create an alternative, or what's the word I'm looking for? If you ever watch the Twilight Zone, dimension, another Earth, another galaxy like ours, in another dimension. Therefore, we pass on here, we go there. Who's to say? We don't know, because nobody's ever seen the galaxy in a whole. They have theorized. They have used the measure of light. They have used the measure of other things to get a idea of the size of the galaxy. So they said the center of the galaxy is a black hole. I'm sorry, not the galaxy. Universe is a black hole with millions and billions of galaxies. Like our 9 planets orbit the sun. These millions and billions of galaxies orbit this great big black hole. Could that great hole be that big black hole be heaven? We don't know. And even though I think it's important for us to explore, to use our mind that God has given us, I don't think we'll get those answers. Not in my lifetime, we won't. So, but I do know this: if something's discovered in the next 100 years from another galaxy, do we consider them our neighbors? Do we consider them aliens? In my opinion, when it comes to the belief in aliens or the false belief in aliens, nothing in the 8 planets around us and on the sun and on the moon contains any life forms. So no, we don't have any alien cousins or alien neighbors in our galaxy. It is possible that we have alien neighbors in another galaxy. Uh, the only 2 galaxies I ever really heard of, watching these science shows, are Andromeda and of course ours. And don't know if man could send anything to Andromeda to be studied. I don't know. But in my opinion, I'm going to end with this. In my opinion, if there are other life forms, it's in another galaxy, far, far from here, far, far from here, in another dimension. That's quite possible. But it's as far as us here on Earth and in our galaxy, it's just us and God. And on that, I'm going to end it and say I appreciate you and I love you. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Support the Number 3 podcast, because I'm going to support you. And I'll see you next time.